Since 14 was came out so well, I might as well do 15 real quick. Why not? And I saw another sign in the heaven, great and marvelous, 7 messengers having the seven last plagues. For the wrath of Elohim was ended in them. And I saw, like a sea of glass mixed with fire, and those overcoming the beast, and his image, and his mark, and the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, holding harps of Elohim. Now, some people like to say maybe this represents a sea of glass, it represents a nuclear bomb was set off, or many of them, because high heat and sand can produce glass, if I remember correctly. But also Elohim is there. Now it says a sword comes out of his mouth and chops down his enemies. There's a lot of interpretation that you could do here. As a literalist, standing on a sea of glass mixed with fire, I have to assume the fire helped make the glass. The only way I know that is if from extreme high heat, like I said. So maybe this is... Now, interestingly enough, babe, do you remember, is it in Elijah who he describes the atomic bombs? Ezekiel. Now, I'm not going to do it here, but in Ezekiel, when he is prophesying, he describes dimensions of a woman. See, the Hebrew word for woman is Isha, and it also means... what does it also mean? Isha is a woman and basket, right? Or what is it?
A basket.
Yeah, so back when the scribes were translating this, they had no idea, didn't know if such a thing as existed, is called an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile. So when they saw the word Isha, they were like, well, it's a woman or a basket, or, carrying device, a basket carrying, So they obviously said woman. So, Ezekiel says there's a woman in the sky dropping, fire, bombs, whatever. So, woman in the sky could actually mean a basket or a device that holds a payload in the sky. And if you go look, I'm not going to do this for you, please do it yourself. Look at the dimensions he gives. Translate them to either, metric or standard, whatever your measurement style of choice is, and then go look at the average ICBM nuclear warhead, tipped with a nuclear warhead for each country, the size of each one is. And I think you'll be quite surprised. Quite surprised. Because the descriptions and the actual lengths, the circumferences, diameters, everything he lists, even the firing mechanism of a nuclear bomb is almost dead on to a nuclear device. Now, there's also a lot of people that believe there's no such thing as nuclear devices, and that's all a scam to scare us. I don't know. All I know is it's quite weird how Ezekiel's measurements are very, very, very close to an ICBM, and the word Isha could mean woman or basket. Now, it's woman in the Bible, but the scribes, again, didn't know what ICBM was, carried a payload. They might have rethought that translation if they knew what we know now. All right, 3 minutes and 49 seconds and only 2 verses in. And they sing the song of Moshe, the servant of Elohim, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are your works, Yahweh El Shaddai. Righteous and true are your ways, O sovereign of the set-apart ones. Who shall not fear you, O Yahweh, and esteem your name? Because you alone are kind, because all the nations shall come and worship before you. For your righteousness have been made manifest. Righteousnesses. And after this I looked and saw the dwelling place of the tent of witness in the heaven was opened. The same place that's in the Old Testament that people say that we don't have to do anymore, or doesn't exist anymore, kind of weird there, huh? And out of the dwelling place came the 7 messengers, having the 7 plagues, dressed in clean, bright linen, and having their chests girded with golden bands. And one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 messengers 7 golden bowls filled with the wrath of Elohim, who lives forever and ever. And the dwelling place was filled with smoke from the esteem of Elohim and from his power, and no one was able to enter the dwelling place until the 7 plagues of the 7 messengers were ended. Now that can I think that kind of means like he wasn't having any of it. You know, sometimes Moses in the beginning, he was going to kill all the Israelites. And Moses, kind of prayed and was like, no, don't do it. That happened a couple times. So I think this is him basically closing the front door and going, no one comes in. No one's talking me out of this. I'm going to, kill these clowns, and that's all there is to it. So I think that's kind of what's going on there. Anyway, that's 15 was pretty short. That's what she said. And if you have any questions or comments, or tell me I'm wrong or a moron, just have at it. Let me know. So.